Going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. So I want to update you first on this plane that was shot down in southwestern Russia over the city of Belgorod. Belgorod is on the border of Ukraine. It's very close to Kharkiv, the Ukrainian city. And Russia is claiming that this plane was full of Ukrainian prisoners of war and it was on its way to the Ukrainian border for a prisoner swap. And Ukraine is saying that that is not true. And they actually tracked this plane coming from the Middle East and going to Russia. So Ukraine is saying that Russia is basically lying that this plane was full of Ukrainian POWs and it was shot down by Ukraine. That's basically a lie, according to the Ukrainians. And the Russians are saying that Ukrainian Patriot missiles or Iris-T missiles were responsible for this plane getting taken down. But I want to just show you guys this clip here. You can see this big plume of smoke, and this is from the actual plane when it hit the ground. And then you can see this small plume of smoke in the middle of the air, which means that some kind of missile detonated in the air, okay, probably in front of this plane. And whether it was a Russian missile, Ukrainian missile, we don't know. But this is a very strange situation. And what's even stranger is that there have been no bodies found at the crash site. Okay, RT television, Russian television, went to the crash site and they were filming the crash site, and there were no bodies anywhere. It was just wreckage from the plane, and that was it. So something's weird about this. Wanted to just quickly update you on that. Want to also update you on the Russian dead hand system. And today, people around the world are still hearing this strange radio signal being broadcasted. Apparently, today, it's not as prominent on frequencies over 6,000 kilohertz. It seems to be most prominent between 5,000 and 6,000 kilohertz. And here we have a video that was taken by an amateur radio operator in Italy. And this was today. So let me just play this for you. You can hear this strange signal, which many people believe is the Russian dead hand system being activated. Now, the dead hand system is a Russian doomsday weapon that basically activates during a time of crisis. Okay, the Russian high command, the Russian generals can activate this thing during a time of crisis, and its job is to monitor Russian territory for any signs of nuclear detonations. And if there is a detonation and no retaliatory strike is launched, then the computer will auto launch the entire Russian nuclear arsenal at predetermined targets. So you can kind of think of it as like one of the earliest forms of AI. And this was created in the Cold War. And let me just play this for you. So he just switched over to 5400 kilohertz, and you can hear it pretty clearly. Some kind of strange signal, okay, just a ticking noise every 1.28 seconds. And once he goes over 6200 kilohertz, the signal weakens and he can't hear it anymore. Want to just remind you guys that NATO has just begun its largest exercise since 1988, involving 90,000 troops. And this exercise is going to last all the way through June. And it's going to span from Norway all the way down to Romania, and also Sweden and Moldova are going to be involved in this exercise. NATO forces will be on the territory of Moldova and Sweden doing exercises with them. I think this is a cover for a forward deployment. Britain is moving 20,000 troops outside of their territory for this exercise. That's the largest mobilization of British troops in decades, okay? And Russian scientists have produced a simulator that mimics ground based nuclear explosions to better train Moscow's ground forces for combat operations involving atomic weapons. According to a new report by the Kremlin backed news outlet TASS, the simulator was developed by researchers at the Russian Military Academy of Logistics. The device provides a clear simulation of the visual features, the impact effect, the light flash, and mushroom shaped dust cloud of a ground based nuclear explosion, read the report. The invention will be used in exercises and practical training with military units to improve the quality of training of the ground forces for combat operations in the context of the use of nuclear weapons, as well as radiation, chemical, biological ground reconnaissance units to determine the parameters and detect the epicenter of a nuclear explosion, according to TASS's report. Okay, so Russia wants to train their ground forces on how to operate in a post-nuclear war environment. Okay, so they're basically practicing for nuclear war with NATO and the US. Okay, so this is very serious. Get prepared, guys. Want to update you on the doomsday clock. If you missed my update from yesterday, the doomsday clock is now at 90 seconds to midnight, which is the same as it was last year. I think it should be lower. I think it should be at like 30 seconds to midnight. I'm surprised they didn't bump it down at least to like 80 or 60 seconds or something like that. I think they just want to give another chance and see if anything's going to change this year. But I think it's just going to continue to spiral out of control. I think we could see Russia try to invade Estonia this year. But they cited the risk of nuclear war, the risk of AI, climate change, and various biological threats as the main reason for keeping it at 90 seconds to midnight. Okay. And I want to just mention that I'm announcing the 100,000 subscriber giveaway winners, and I've posted them in the community section on my YouTube channel. So I've already gotten responses from several people, but we still need Flip Flops, Sunsets, Holly at the Naturista, Brett Shannon, and Spencer Kilcrease. We still need you guys so you can get your prize. Send me an email and tell me your address, okay, if you're one of these people. And I did get some fraudulent email, people claiming to be winners when they weren't. Guys, I'm not stupid, okay? So please don't try to lie and say that you're one of these people when you're not. Okay, I'm going to find out. And I want to just share some flight paths with you guys. U.S. nuclear forces were on high alert this evening. I know a lot of people hate it when I say that, but I'm going to say it again. U.S. nuclear forces were on high alert this evening. We had a nuclear war command and control plane that was flying over our missile fields, most likely practicing the use of the airborne launch control system. And at the same time, we had a presidential doomsday plane doing loops over Omaha, Nebraska at Offutt Air Base. Okay, so here's that presidential doomsday plane, and it was just looping for several hours while that E-6 Mercury was flying over the missile fields, probably practicing with the airborne launch control system, or maybe something happened and they wanted it over those missile fields in case something were to spiral out of control. Here we have a video that was shared to me by a source who lives next to Offutt Air Base, that's home of Strategic Command. And there were these 3 planes flying parallel yesterday, and they were off the flight tracker. So we don't know what kind of planes these are, but this is very unusual. And they were off the flight tracker, so they had their transponders turned off for some reason, too far away to get a clear shot of these planes, but thought I would just share that with you. I also have another source who lives right next to Raven Rock Mountain Complex, which is the doomsday bunker for the Pentagon. And my source told me that there was a nuclear war command and control plane flying over the area yesterday with its transponder off. Okay. So our nuclear forces are on high alert, guys. And Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, said today that I hope that those who warn about the need to prepare for war with Russia still have the instinct of self-preservation. Wow, guys, some really strong words there from Lavrov. And he was referring to all the British and NATO generals in the last few days that have been saying that NATO needs to prepare for war with Russia. And he's saying that he hopes they still have the instinct of self-preservation. There's currently an oil refinery in Russia on fire, and locals reported hearing kabooms right before this thing caught on fire. This is in Russia's Tuapse region, 440 kilometers away from Ukraine. So apparently another Ukrainian drone, ATTACK, on Russian soil deep behind the front line. They hit St. Petersburg last week. They hit a oil depot or fuel depot, it was, right on the Baltic Sea. They flew a drone right over Putin's mansion in Valdai. So Ukraine is really taking the fight to Russia. Here's another view of this oil refinery in Tuapse, Russia. Okay, look at that massive fireball. So, absolutely insane, guys. Ukraine has been spending a lot of money on their drone program. And Zelensky said last year he wanted to build 1 million drones. Okay, so it looks like what Ukraine's strategy is going to be going forward is more of these types of ATTACKSs on Russian logistics and fuel depots and various types of infrastructure deep behind the front line. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you have to go to preparewithNYPrepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life and includes over 2,000 calories per day. All of this food is stored within 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And My Patriot Supply is also doing a 30% discount on the Vesta self-powered indoor space heater and stove. With this thing, you can safely heat and cook indoors. You don't have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't have to worry about burning your house down. It uses special canned heat, and it comes with 24 cans. Each can will last you 6 hours and can warm up a room of 200 square feet. So to get the deal, also go to preparewithNYPrepper.com. And also, My Patriot Supply has a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival items. To get to that store, you just click on the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page, and it'll take you to their general store. And they have all different kinds of discounts here on various items. They have MREs, they have water filters, they have potassium iodides, fire starters, anything you can imagine. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply and 30% off of the Vesta indoor space heater and stove. Apparently, at the NATO defense ministers meeting on yesterday, they got the green light for long range missiles so they can go far into Russia and hit targets far into Russia. Okay, so Ukraine apparently got the go ahead from various NATO defense ministers to launch missile strikes deep into Russian territory with NATO missiles. Okay, that is definitely very concerning. And apparently, the Sochi International Airport was closed this evening due to security concerns. Apparently, there were some Ukrainian drones flying over the area. And apparently, recent reports that the U.S. is considering withdrawing troops from Syria is inaccurate, according to a Department of Defense official. And Biden sent a letter to Congress urging it to approve a $20 billion F 16 aircraft deal for Turkey. And this comes right after Turkey approved Sweden's NATO membership bid. And so this was basically a deal that the US and Turkey made. If Turkey approved Sweden, then the US would sell them these F 16s. But $20 billion worth of F 16s, guys, that is just a massive amount of F 16s. And what you're looking at here is video footage showing the Russian National Security Council and the Iranian National Security Council meeting. Here's Nikolai Patrushev on the right here. And Nikolai Patrushev is probably the most powerful man in Russia. He is more powerful than Putin. Okay, he's the guy behind the scenes running the show. He was a KGB agent basically his whole life. Many people believe that Patrushev is the guy that hooked up Putin with his job as president of Russia. Okay, so Patrushev approved a defense cooperation agreement between Iran and Russia today. And whether that means that Iran is now under Russia's nuclear umbrella, we don't know. But the timing is very interesting with everything going on in the Middle East for Russia to suddenly sign a defense cooperation with Iran, okay, and for Patrushev to physically meet with Iran's Security Council means that this was very, very important. Okay, Patrushev is, like I said, more powerful than Putin. So for him to come out of his office, it has to be something important. Okay, so the timing is very interesting. We had an Israeli minister saying that now's the time to go after Iran. There's a lot of talk about going after Iran and Israel, and also here in the U.S. Iran has been tripling their uranium production, and the IAEA said recently that Iran now has enough nuclear material to make several warheads. Okay, so it's very possible that the U.S. and Israel and NATO are going to launch some kind of big operation on Iran this year, probably in the coming weeks or months. I think very soon. Okay, so I think this is basically like almost an emergency meeting in a sense, because Russia knows it's coming, Iran knows it's coming, and they want to have everything in place before it happens. And the Houthis are now claiming that a multi-hour clash between themselves and several U.S. Navy vessels took place today in the Gulf of Aden, with the Houthis claiming that they scored a direct hit on one of the U.S. warships. Multiple U.S. officials have since denied that this occurred, stating that it is totally false. And I want to read to you what the Houthi spokesman said, Yahya Saree. He said, a clash occurred today between a number of American destroyers and warships in the Gulf of Aden and the Bab el-Mandeb while they were protecting two American commercial ships. The spokesman said that the result of the clash was as follows: a direct hit on an American vessel, and this forced the two American commercial vessels to withdraw and return back to their port. Several of our ballistic missiles struck their targets despite warships' attempts to intercept them. So this is very serious, guys. The Yemeni military forces used a number of ballistic missiles during more than 2-hour clashes. Okay. So that is very interesting. And I'm not sure if I believe that or not. The U.S. ambassador to Iraq, Alina Romanovsky, is reported to have delivered a memo today to the Iraqi Foreign Ministry regarding preliminary steps to begin the withdrawal of U.S. and coalition forces from the country. Wow, guys. So the U.S. is tucking its tail between its legs and leaving Iraq. If we do that under this situation, it's going to make us look super duper weak. I mean, I know a lot of you guys say, yeah, we got to get out of Iraq, we got to get out of Syria. Yeah, we do, but it has to be done on our terms and not because some terrorists are attacking our bases every single day. That makes us look weak if we just tuck our tail and run away. Okay, so it has to be done the right way. You can't just pull out immediately and, just look stupid around the world. North Korea test fired a new strategic cruise missile called the Pul Hwasal 331. And here's a picture of it. Apparently, they launched several of these missiles today, and it is said to be nuclear capable. And China is saying that an American warship crossing the Taiwan Strait is a provocative step. So apparently, an American warship recently went through the Taiwan Strait. And in Nigeria, radical Islamists from the Fulani group burned down a church in Mangu. So that's the latest breaking news that I have, guys. I will be back tomorrow with more updates. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon below so you get notified when I post these updates. And I know some of you guys complained that you didn't get a notification of my last update this evening from a few hours ago. And the reason why is I posted too many videos in a 24-hour period. The way YouTube works is you can't post more than 3 videos or live streams in a 24-hour period if you want notifications to go out to your subscribers. And I posted 3 in like 23 hours. I should have waited like an extra hour to post my update this evening, but I forgot. And so it's kind of just a stupid thing. But just wanted to let you guys know that. So you should periodically check my channel if you didn't get a notification for a few hours or a day or so or 2 days. Go and check my channel because I'm posting every day. If I don't post every day, I'll let you guys know. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I might do a live stream tomorrow night or Friday night. So until then, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.